Thanks so much. It's the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160 and 101.1 FM. And he's on the phone with us. Reza is here. Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people, sponsoring all of our interviews here on Indiana in the Morning. Reza, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
How are you?
I'm great.
Is it really you? I mean, you're an illusionist. I can never be sure.
It is real and an illusion at the same time. It is me.
Are you in town just yet, or are you still coming in?
We pulled in. We're in the tour bus. The crew is actually outside working hard to get all the equipment into the venue. We've arrived.
Yeah, oh, that's terrific news. Terrific news. You're going to be on stage tonight, the Toretti Auditorium at the Kowalczyk Complex. Where are you coming from in order to get here today?
We're coming from Branson, Missouri.
Ooh.
And we end up in New York at the end of this run. And then I think we go to Florida.
Oh, yeah?
After this, so we're on the move.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's cool. All right, so, so many questions. So many questions for Reza this morning. Where are you from originally?
Originally, I'm from South Dakota, so I grew up in the Midwest, and it's an area that didn't have a lot of what I do now around me. So I got interested when this magician came to my elementary school, and I asked my parents for a magic kit for my birthday. They got it for me. I go to the library. I try to learn these things as a kid. And so it was just a hobby that had so much passion behind it and a dream. And so my parents saw that, and they were so cool about taking this weird thing, especially from where I'm from. It's just hunting and sports is all that's popular around South Dakota. And then career-wise, it's almost unthinkable to do something like this. But they said, no, that's your dream. To go for it.
Yeah.
They helped me to turn it into a business and taught me, how to approach it like a business. So it was because of that I was able to carry on.
You must have driven your mother nuts, though.
Yeah, I was always, following her around. Watch this trick, because she was I was the only child, so that they were my aunt, my parents were, and looking back, they would always say like that was incredible. I have no idea how you did that. Looking back, now because there's always kids at the end of the line, the autograph line after the show that have a trick, and not always this is a great trick, but you have to act amazed, because I remember that feeling where an adult would say, "That was incredible." And that was so propelling, and so I want to give that same. And once in a while, a kid does fool me, or or is impressive, as well. But to make them feel good, I think is everything at that age.
I bet your mom had the ER on standby all the time. Talk, if you would, about developing one of your illusions, because I would guess that number one, we see the finished product up on stage that has been so well thought out and executed, but there have to have been, moments along the way where you had some doubts or where something didn't work and you had to go at a problem a different way. How do you conceive of and then execute these amazing tricks that you do?
Many prototypes. There's a lot of process that goes into it. Now with technology, we're able to immediately put it into a 3D model and look at things differently than we were, 10 or 15 years ago. So that is very helpful, but I get my inspiration from what's around me, pop culture, everyday life. I might drive by a dealership and see a vehicle and go, I need to make that appear on stage, and so we do that. Or I might be at a hardware store and see this really cool-looking power tool and figure that'd be really cool going through a person. So it's a little bit easier that way.
Wait a second. Back it up there, sonny boy.
Yeah.
I go to a hardware store, see a power tool, and I think, wouldn't that look cool going through a person? I believe that's the exact quote.
Real menacing. Yeah, and the reason why is magic, historically has always been about these weird objects that no one ever sees unless they're in a magic show. This samurai sword or blade or something that just doesn't. It's not an everyday object. And so I decided, many years ago, that I want to make magic relatable. And so in order to do that, I have to use these things in people's garages, people's homes, people's everyday lives, and then create some incredible moments with those same objects. So that's where the inspiration comes from. So it's a little bit easier in that regard. And a lot of what I use is normal objects, just use it in different ways. So to answer your question better, the magic, takes a long time to develop. minimum of months, but usually years
Mm-hmm.
before it's really ready for the stage. I might have something in a sketchbook that I come back to later and go, okay, this is the time to finish this one and put in, I have the idea here. But once I put it into the show, the great part about the live show is you get instant reactions. You know right away whether something works or not. You know, if it's funny, if it's powerful. If you're sensing up the audience, you know, when you film for TV, especially for reality shows, sometimes it's 6 or 8 months or a year before the TV show airs, and a lot of times you're just doing it for the camera. You get real reactions, and by the time something airs, you sometimes I even forget like what I even did or what makes the cut. There's no instant gratification there, and there's no way to develop, you know, an illusion like that. You just have to hope that it works. But in the live show, especially if we do shows every single night, the audience, the fuel, the energy, that tells me if something's going to work, if it makes it in the show, or if it needs to be modified or even pulled out. So that's really my barometer, is the crowd.
He's on stage tonight, 7:30 at the Toretti Auditorium at the Cavalci Complex here in Indiana. He is Reza. So what are folks going to see or think they are going to see tonight during the show? What are some of the highlights?
I'm going to see some of the things a signature piece I'd love to perform, a modern-day version of a Houdini escape that I've taken and tried to beat world records with in terms of speed and precision. So it's a lot of fun to bring on stage every night. I get to involve the crowd quite a bit. Over a dozen people throughout the show who want to come up on stage are involved. And so I realize that some people don't want to come up on stage. I never pull someone that doesn't want to come up. A lot of people do. And so I want to create opportunity for that. So it's the big illusions like the power tools and the spray paint and all these things come to life, but also it's a chance to become part of it by not only witnessing it with your own eyes, which is different than watching it on YouTube or television, it's experiencing it, but also to come up on stage if you'd like to.
Oh, it sounds like it's a lot of. It sounds to me like you have a lot of fun, not only developing the show, but getting in front of the audience and watching their reactions to what you're able to do.
Yeah, that's funny because sometimes people forget that I can see and hear them. You know, because they're watching it, and the show for them is obviously happening on stage. But the show for me is happening in the crowd. I love kind of paying attention to certain groups of people, especially the skeptics, because there's always skeptics in the crowd. I try and find those people early on, the people who are sitting with the arms crossed, you know. My goal, my challenge to myself every night is to get those people, the first ones on their feet at the end of the show, and it's fun.
Oh, man, it sounds like so much fun tonight. It's happening at 7:30 at the Cavalci Complex. I'm sure that you'll be setting up and getting the lay of the land over there right now with the rest of the crew, and we are looking forward to a really, really great show tonight. Thanks for calling in and visiting with us this morning.
My pleasure. I'm excited to be here.
All right. He is Reza tonight. Have a great day, Tay.
Thanks so much.
All right. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160 and 101.1 FM. And